Welcome. Today, we're diving into something that every single business deals with, whether it's a tiny startup or a global giant. We're talking about mastering the art of seeing what's coming. We're talking about risk management.
All right, let's just jump right in with a big question for you. Take a second and really think about it. Right now, what is the single biggest threat to your business?
Now, your mind probably jumps straight to your competition, right? That new, flashy startup or that big established player in your field. But what if I told you that's probably not it?
Turns out, the real danger, the stuff that can truly sink a business, is the risk you don't even see coming. The threats that are hiding in your blind spots. And that is exactly what we're going to tackle.
You know, it doesn't matter if you're a tiny startup or a massive corporation. You're operating in a world that is, by its very nature, uncertain. The old saying is true. It's not if something will go wrong, it's when.
And just think about all the things that could happen. A sudden shift in the market that makes your main product obsolete. A key supplier in your chain just disappears overnight. A new government regulation that completely changes the rules. Any one of these things can be a total disaster if you're not ready for it.
Okay, so how in the world do you prepare for something that's unpredictable? Well, that's where risk management comes into play. And it's not some boring compliance checklist. Think of it more like a compass that helps you steer your business through choppy waters.
So what are we really talking about here? Well, the official definition is that it's a process. It's all about systematically identifying, assessing, and then controlling any threats that could hit your bottom line, your capital, and your earnings. But, definitions can be a bit dry. I love this analogy. Risk management is like the headlights on your car. You wouldn't dream of driving down a dark road at night without them, right? They let you see what's coming up ahead so you have time to react. That's exactly what this does for your business.
It all starts with a simple truth. You just can't manage what you don't measure. Before you can do anything, you have to get a really clear picture of what you're actually up against. Most business risks fall into a few big buckets. You've got financial risks like, say, interest rates suddenly spiking. Then there are operational risks. That's when an internal system or process breaks down. Strategic risks are the big picture ones, like a competitor inventing something that makes you obsolete. And finally, compliance risks are all about keeping up with laws and regulations.
Okay, so you know the kinds of risks that are out there. Now what do you do about them? Well, the great news is there's a proven framework for this. It's a clear path that takes you from the chaos of the unknown to a feeling of control.
And this is it. This is the heart of the whole thing. It's a really simple, four-step loop. First you identify, then you assess, then you treat, and finally you monitor and review. Let's quickly walk through each one.
Okay, step one, identify. And honestly, this is where you need to get a little creative, maybe even a little paranoid. It's about asking, what could possibly go wrong here? And I mean everything, from a server crashing, to a key employee quitting, to a freak storm. Nothing's off the table.
All right, you've got this big, kind of scary list. Now what? Step 2 is to assess. For every single risk on your list, you ask 2 simple questions. 1, how likely is this to actually happen? And 2, if it does happen, how bad is the damage going to be? This is how you figure out what to worry about first.
So now it's time for action. This is step 3, treat the risk. And this is where you actually get to make some decisions. For each risk, you can choose to avoid it altogether, mitigate it to lessen the blow, accept it if it's not a big deal, or transfer it. That's what things like insurance are for.
And the last step, which is maybe the most important, is to monitor. Because look, this is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. It's a cycle. The world is constantly changing, new risks are always popping up, so you have to keep an eye on things and make sure your plans are actually working. So that's the game plan, the 4-step framework. But what do you actually do? What does this look like in the real world? Let's talk about some of the actual tools and strategies you can use.
Let's talk about 2 of the biggest strategies you'll use: avoidance and mitigation. Risk avoidance is pretty straightforward. If expanding into a new, really unstable market seems way too dangerous, you just don't do it. You avoid the risk. Mitigation is more common. That's where you take the risk, but you do things to make it less painful if it happens, like having backup servers ready to go.
And this is where it all really comes together. It's like having a toolbox where you match the right tool to the right job. You use insurance policies to handle financial risks. You create really clear standard operating procedures to prevent operational mess-ups. You do your market research to avoid strategic surprises. See how it works? It's all about having a specific plan for a specific problem. All right, I want to end by flipping this whole conversation on its head. We've been talking about risk as something scary, something to defend against. But what if it's not? What if risk is actually an opportunity in disguise?
Because here's the secret. When you truly understand and manage a big risk, you can unlock an opportunity that all your competitors are too scared to even go near. It only takes one well-managed risk to completely change the game for your business.
So the big takeaway here is this. Risk isn't something you should be afraid of. It's just something you have to manage. Success isn't about avoiding all risk. That's totally impossible. It's about managing it so well that you turn uncertainty into your single greatest competitive advantage.
So, I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. Take a look at the biggest, scariest risks your business is facing right now and ask yourself, which one of those, if you could just get a handle on it, actually holds the key to your greatest opportunity? The answer to that question might just change everything.